The current climate in the United States appears to be the best time for Michael Richards to attempt his long-awaited comeback, according to users online.
Oh my God.
That's why you reset. Never had no show, never had no movie. Seinfeld, that's it. Oh, I guess you got me there.
Don't remember Richards? He was the former co-star of Seinfeld, who would be filmed in 2006, lashing out while using the N-word repeatedly after he was heckled during a comedy show at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. Now, after almost 20 years since the incident, Richards has now decided to return to the stage. The now 76-year-old has officially launched a tour called Michael Richards, an evening of conversations, questions, and answers throughout the California area, marking this as the first time he would get back on stage after his infamous rant that will go viral. Now, according to reports, Richards' tour would be first kicked off at Ventura Music Hall in Ventura, California. And from the looks online, he appears to have shifted from his stand-up comedy style to a more Q&A podcast, which includes questions from the audience and conversations highlighting his book, entrances and exits. While speaking to the audience for his first time back, Richards would open up about the moment that not only halted his career, but his life. He would go on to tell the audience, "I was forced to revisit my backstory because 19 years ago, I was in a comedy club and I was a very naughty man. That night, doing my act, I got interrupted, got heckled, and I really took it in the wrong way. It went really bad and I said some awful things. Although I was trying to lift it into comedy, believe it or not, playing this idiot who's a racist, but I'm channeling all this goo-gaw, which is what I do as a Dionysian most of the time. I don't really work with an act. I'm very loose on stage, very loosey-goosey. That goosey got me in some trouble." He would continue reflecting on the moment by revealing that he feared a civil war would take place over the impact of the video. "I thought the whole country was gonna go into a civil war because suddenly the guy who plays the beloved Kramer, this wacko, was on stage throwing around the N-word. What the hell is anger? Why did I let the heckler get me so angry? What in me is so susceptible? So susceptible to get so angry to say such things? It took me into the nature of anger. It led me to looking around me to see how my humanity could be so angry." Richards would also share that for years he would get offers for jobs but would decide to turn them down until he worked on himself. While speaking to local outlet News Times about his return, Richards would admit that he knows not everyone will forgive him. "I still carry it and I don't expect other people to forgive me all the way through. It was pretty horrible, the things I said. I'm not looking for people to love me or accept me, so I'm okay. Other people just have to work it out their own way. I did the personal work. I know where I stand in the midst of saying that sort of thing to another human being, you know? Everybody takes their fall, right? Everybody's got their shit that they have to attend to, you know? So how do you forgive yourself? You find the understanding in it. That's what real forgiveness is. Don't be too hard on others. Take a look at your own goo-gaw." Now, despite appearing to have learned from his mistakes, as mentioned, not everyone is happy about his return. In fact, several online users would call Richards out for choosing the country's current climate as the time he would feel comfortable to return to the stage. In the comments of Instagram page SoCals, who would also cover Richards' new tour, several online users would speak out. One would go on to write, "He knows his hateful crowd will support him right now. He knows his people." While another would say, "With this climate, I'm sure he feels safe to come out now." Now, in those same comments, it does appear that the comments just read hold some truth, as conservatives and some white users would equally defend Richards' original rant. One user would go on to write, "He had the fatigue before the rest of us got it," referring to a recent term called black fatigue, which is an expression of being overwhelmed and extremely bothered by the actions of some black people, which leads to generalizing and criticizing black people's existence in the United States. In the aftermath of his meltdown, Richards would go on to make several apologies on TV, including a cringy appearance on The Letterman Show, in which some of the audience can be heard laughing.
Said some pretty nasty things to some Afro-Americans. A lot of trash talk, and I mean, hearing your audience laugh, you know, and it's I'm not even sure that this is where I should be.
So let's talk about it more in the comments below. Do you think this is the best time for Richards to return? And should he be forgiven after years of therapy and previous apologies? Stay up to date for the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. And if you enjoy content like this, head over to hypersclub.com to check out full interviews and more original content. And of course, if you have a story that you think we should cover, you can always send us a message now at hyperalerts.com. Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Janaba.